Yo.
Coach, what's happening?
What's going on? The old Zoom meeting, Sheaty on his way.
Aye.
Hey. Welcome.
What's happening?
Good to see you.
Yeah. Mate, I'm the odd one out. I've got the least hair, but I've got the longest hair.
What's been happening?
Oh, not too. Yeah, it's exactly work, eh? Just getting back into it.
Yeah. You guys started on Monday there, Ben?
Yeah, we started on Monday. Started trainings tonight, so it was
Cool.
it was a bit weird, to be honest. After like 7 weeks out of the gym, back into it, so it's good.
Nice. How are the boys?
Yeah, no, they did a pretty good job, to be honest. Like, most of them look like they've done a lot of work. I'm only allowed to work with one bubble, so like the other two bubbles, I didn't really get much to work with. I'm not allowed in the gym at the same time as them, so
yeah.
There you go.
Did you split your squad up into two groups, Ben?
We've got 45 at the moment, so we've got like 3 bubbles and then hopefully 5 next week, and
cool.
We haven't trialled yet, so hopefully we trial at some stage over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice one. Yeah, St Thomas haven't given us the go ahead for trainings yet. But I happened to go through Catholic Cathedral and saw the kids in there shooting some hoops, but it was just cool to walk back into a gym and seeing all the sights and sounds of a gymnasium.
Yeah, for sure. And just to be on the court, it was like I said, it was kind of weird. I was like, what am I doing? Like, I've been planning for this moment for the last 7 weeks, and I was like, what do I do now? So
you guys almost kind of find like it's almost like the lockdowns never almost like it never happened. It's kind of like, it's weird, isn't it? Like just picking things back up from where they were.
Yeah, it's weird transitioning back into it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very easy for people to forget that, hugging's not what you're supposed to do and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it's I think you were saying the other night, Joe, when the games do start up and the gyms do start open, there's going to be a lot of we're supposed to do that.
Yeah,
that sort of thing going on. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, well, just the range of people. Like some people are still on edge, and I can't. Like, I'm not dismissing anything, and I'm not like I'm a bit of a germaphobe, so I've got the hand sanitizer in my pocket at all times. But I don't know, I just feel good about things, yeah, it's gonna be hard with the high fives and you're supposed to you can do skill stuff, but like the kids are gonna scrimmage, trying to tell those kids not to scrimmage or do 3-on-3 or whatever. And then it's weird too because PE's up and running, so it's a really weird thing. And then so surely by Monday I think they're going to announce that it's green. I reckon we're going to get green lit. That's my opinion.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
Raise that number a little bit so Benny doesn't have to have 5 different sessions a week.
I'm only allowed at one. So, but it's but that's the thing. Like PE, we can do 5-on-5 basketball.
Yeah.
And training, well, we can with 20 kids, but in training we can only have 8 players plus me and Ed. So
the same kids.
Yeah.
If you were to do it during curriculum time, would that be allowed?
Nah, I guess it's too hard to timetable probably. But yeah, so some schools have been
basketball 101 being taught by Ben Sheat.
No. Well, I had it at Cashmere, but yeah.
Saw that.
That's Penny's artwork, but I'll update that too.
You need to get her making some t-shirts, mate.
Oh yeah. they'll be colourful. If my daughter did it, they'd be really colourful. So that could be pretty cool.
Good. No, I haven't been in the gym yet because the only time I'm coaching this year is men's prems, and 10 people in the gym. I was like, wow, it's more use of you guys being in the gym shooting than me being there with you at this moment. So I said, you guys just go for it, and I'll see you when I can get there. So haven't yet been back in the gym, but
big difference with those high school kids versus some prems guys. They kind of know what to do. They know how to
exactly
be productive and get something going.
Quite different vibe.
So just before I talked to you before this chat, I don't know if you've heard any of them, but I've mentioned a few times I've had too much time on YouTube late at night because I don't sleep much. And my guilty thing is I watch some wrestling interviews and stuff from the 90s and 2000s. Don't tell anybody. And just before the chat, do you remember when Macho Man Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan came? They joined forces at one point and they called themselves the Mega Powers. I thought I could call this the Mega Powers interview. It was us three. So that's the name for this interview, I think. But
nice.
I might get a lot of thumbs downs on the link if I put it down. If I dub us the Mega Powers, so maybe I can't do that. I don't know.
Hey, we better watch out. I think the last time the three of us were in a meeting together, the Thompson Trophy was born.
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken.
When was that?
It was at Sport Canterbury. Was it 2014-ish? Like the Thompson Trophy as it is now, as the Tuesday night comp.
Yeah.
Is that right? Or am I making that up, Ben?
Well, I remember we made the final. We made the final at South Islands once, and we came back, and this is when everyone played under 20s still on Saturdays. And I remember someone sent to us the Thompson Trophy, and I was like, I had no idea what it was for, but because we were that year we were the top ranked at South Islands, we got the trophy. So I was like, oh, okay, sweet as. Wasn't even a big deal. It was almost like, so yeah, that's what they used to do, and then you just have to send it to the next year's top placing Christchurch team in the South Island tournament. So
yeah, because before that was the qualifiers, of course. So it was before there was South Islands, when there was just regionals and you had to finish top 2 in the city to make nationals.
Yeah,
the winner of that tournament won the Thompson Trophy.
Yeah.
So
much harder.
It's gone through a bunch of different. Yeah, way harder. It's gone through a lot of iterations. The Thompson Trophy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the last time through us were in a meeting, it was figuring out the Tuesday night comp. Kind of saying because under 20s was good, but it got out of hand. There was 25 teams or something, and you'd have 2 good games a season. So I remember us going, hey, if we're going to compete at Nats, we're going to need to compete night after night. So we met with Paul Duggan and
so you guys prefer Tuesday night basketball over what it used to be on the Saturdays?
Yeah, I think so. I think just the atmosphere we started to build in those gyms was pretty awesome. Obviously this year, I don't know if we're allowed 500 people in the gym, but yeah, it's I think it was really good. Those final games have been awesome over the last few years.
True, very true.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of the just the level of competition that brings having less teams in that top grade. I know that's a not necessarily popular viewpoint, but I reckon even if you cut it down to 6 in that first division, that would really be iron sharpening iron and getting some pretty good build up to South Islands and nationals. So I've always liked what that's given us. I mean, I'd be keen for 4 divisions of 6 myself, but it's pretty cutthroat trying to tell people you're the 7th best team and you're not going to be top 6. It's
but once you sort of maybe have a couple qualifying games, usually those rankings are pretty accurate. Usually you get a pretty good idea of who the top 4 or 5 teams are, and it's not very often that some 9th or 10th ranked team shock everybody and they end up being number 2. It's usually pretty, it's usually the fight between 2, 3, and 4, or there can be some prizes there. The 4th place team can be surprisingly good or whatever. Yeah. Well, Middleton last year were ranked 5th, but obviously turned out to be really good. So I could see how those smaller groups could work. Yeah, there's usually a tier of 4 to 5 teams that
Like there's usually a top tier with 1 or 2 teams, and then a good solid tier of about another 2 or 3 teams, and then there's usually a drop off. That's just generally about the population size of Christchurch. Like, there's not enough players around for there to be 10 great teams. That's Bill Grogan's number as well in all the sports, like football, soccer, all that stuff. It's top 6. He goes. He always makes a top 6 competition because he reckons that's about the number, and he's generally right. Bill's been around for a while, so his theory's probably stood the test of time.
He's seen a little bit of sports in his time. Yeah,
a little bit.
That's interesting. That's
one of the greatest voices in the city.
Yeah, I've been on several Zoom chats with Bill in the last couple of weeks about sports and things. So he holds it down.
Yeah.
So Ben, I've got it's the 2012 under 20 final.
Oh, nice.
Jarnum Campbell's dad used to record them for me, and then hook me up with the DVD. Some kids might watch this and wonder what this is, but hook us up with the DVD. So I've been trying to figure out how to convert that file and put it online, but I keep telling everybody my favourite thing about that, well, not my favourite thing, but what I keep telling everybody about that game was it's the worst coaching strategy I ever put in place was the attack George Love concept, where I told my guys, if you guys attack the hoop, we're going to get him in foul trouble, and once he's out of the game, we can just keep on attacking the hoop. George Love had over 10 blocks in that game.
All right, yeah. Was that at Bishopdale, YMCA?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yep, Carl Magan and
one thing from that game, that was the game Ethan got a massive dunk in the background, right, as well.
Yes, yeah.
Remember that, yeah.
So I watched it up to that point, and you just see, I can't remember who he dunked on, but the guy just, like, he's...
Joseph? Was it? I think it was...
Yeah. It might have been Joseph, actually.
Yeah.
He physically slid all the way to the wall, and that's caught in the game. That's in the background. So
it's crazy, eh?
Yeah. The game just stopped for about, I think, 10 seconds. Nobody did anything apart from just stare over there and watch the celebration of that dunk. But, yeah,
that's when the 20s comp was awesome. I think we played Beads the year before in the final as well, and that was really rocking, eh? Like in terms of that, we had some great battles.
I'll chuck one thing to you guys. You might have heard me say this before too, but I actually preferred that competition to Tuesday nights, and I'll tell you why. Like I see all the positives for Tuesday. I'm not asking for it to be changed or anything like that, but my theory is that would actually prepare a team for South Islands and Nationals far better than Tuesday nights, because you'd rock up to Bishopdale and you'd have maybe a handful of supporters, and it was really just 2 teams meeting at it wasn't anyone's home gym. There was no home support. People weren't that used to the hoops, and I felt like it was a bit more of a realistic tournament kind of feel to it, and I felt that those games helped prepare my teams better for tournament, whereas when you play at home, it's a different thing. Like, and I love that all the students and the staff can come along to games, and being your days at Cashmere, and you guys built up that culture, so like playing at Cashmere was difficult, and same thing with Middleton Grange and all that kind of thing is cool, but and I do enjoy that, but I just thought that was kind of better as far as like tournament prep. But every time I bring this up, I get shot down all the time. People always disagree with it, but yeah.
I think there's definitely elements to that. Like, there is no. I mean, you have to generate opportunities now that you're playing an evening gym at 8 a.m. in the morning, like with your team, really. And that's something you just don't get to do in the Thompson Trophy. But I think for the betterment of basketball, for the visibility of basketball, I think it's really good. One thing basketball just does not have is the walk up appeal. Like, you'd never just see it down at the park or down at the street, like, because that you get in rugby and even get with netball, where people drive past and go, it's going on. Like, if you don't go to Cal Stadium on a Saturday or to one of the other gyms that we're at, you don't know that there's club basketball on at all. Whereas Tuesday night kind of gave it a bit of a a bit of a boost in terms of profile because nothing else is going on Tuesday night. The high school kids got into it, and like you say, the teachers and parents got into it, and it kind of gave it a little bit more appeal, a little more publicity. But yeah, I totally see where I'm coming from with the prep. I mean, it's a bit different getting up for a game at Cow Stadium with 1,500 people there or whatever it was for the Thompson Trophy final last year with Cashmere Middleton to getting up for a semi-final in Dunedin with it 3 degrees and 2 other teams sitting on the sideline watching you play. Like, that's a very different scenario.
Yeah. I guess it depends on what. I mean, you're totally right, and that's why I'm glad it did change for that reason. Like, it's definitely helped, boost basketball and make it bigger within the schools. And it's cool when you turn up an hour before the game and you see some young fellas running around. They're so pumped, and guys going in to put up shots. And I get all that, but I think, for example, our national tournament where we had to play Rotorua at 8:00 in the morning, there was literally no one there, and we won that game, and that set us up to have a good tournament. But it was the oddest, strangest game ever. Like, rocking into that stadium, it was freezing. Rotorua were actually late. Like, they rocked up like 10 minutes before the game. They didn't take us too seriously, to be honest. But I just think of those things. Like, but I'm purely focused on tournament results. That's my whole thing. Thompson Trophy is more like a preparation thing. That's what I was saying to Jack yesterday. But that's just my theory. What do I know?
I think that's true as well. Like, at the moment, under 23s, you have those 8:30 a.m. slots, and rocking up and grinding that out is hard work. So I think there's definitely some element to that, and getting used to playing those rough kind of games, because you don't have the luxury of playing in those home crowds, and it's probably affected some of those teams negatively over the last few years as well in terms of that. So I think it's important. Get them up at 9 a.m. on a Saturday or Sunday as well. Get some extra games in. Get them up early.
What would be nice is if we got nationals back in Christchurch at some point. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
And we could play some games in front of home crowds. That'd be nice.
That one that we did that DVD to. I think that was the last one we had, wasn't it? That was
2006.
2006.
Yeah, and that was just Corey Webster and Abercrombie and all these guys. Like, who's that big fella from Westlake that year? I forget, one of the breakers. But yeah, just like that was amazing. I remember at Carol's for the entire week, just packed. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, 14 years ago, man.
Yeah.
It was we came 7th that year. That was my year 12 year. So
wow.
7th? No, 6. 6. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who did you play face up with, Westlake or St Pat's or?
We lost to St Pat's in the quarterfinals. Yeah. So.
Who was coaching you? Was that Oded?
No, that was at Waitaki Boys. That was Kenny Perkins.
Oh, my bad. Right.
Yeah. No, Kenny Perkins used to drive 3.5 hours to train. Well, 3 hours to training and 3 hours back on a Monday to Thursday.
Wow.
So, yeah. Huge commitment.
Did you ever go to Cashmere, Ben, or you were at Waitaki the whole time?
No, I was at Waitaki the whole time, yeah.
Oh, right.
I started at Cashmere first year out of high school, so did my 10 years there, and yeah.
Nice. 10 years. It's a haul.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was a pretty awesome when you can look back at it now, though. That's the cool thing. Like, you look back at the coaches, the teams you coach. Sometimes you forget the amount of players, I guess, sometimes, and you see something pop up on the Facebook feed, and it's pretty awesome to see what they're up to now.
Yeah. So what was your last year there? 18 or 17?
17 was the last year, yeah. In 2 years out.
Nice.
Yeah, it must be. Mm-hmm.
So you made national 7 times in your 10 years there.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Man,
I've got my spreadsheet in front of me. I got my spreadsheet.
Oh.
You've got one from you?
There was 2 years we didn't go, I'm pretty sure. In my ones? Yeah. Oh, no, the first year. Yeah, sorry. The first year, yeah, in terms of that. When I was assistant coach with Jamie Hall.
Oh,
Yeah.
So 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2015, 16, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
What have you got in front of you, Bennetts? What have you got in front of you?
I've got my little history spreadsheet. Me and Ben keep spreadsheets, man. You got to have a spreadsheet. Mine's very simple. It's just all the Christchurch teams have qualified for nationals since 2000.
You're kidding me.
That.
So you're the archive. You're the info.
The BBNZ archives only go back to 2004 on their website.
Yeah.
But I was around for 2000 2003, so I know who went. So yeah.
It's interesting because before I started coaching at Burnside, I didn't actually really have any interest in high school basketball since I finished playing. So I remember just snippets of things like playing club ball, and I remember Shirley Boys had this insane group one year, and bits and pieces like that. But that would be interesting to have a look at sometime, man, because I don't even, to be honest, Ben, I didn't actually realise how long Cashmere had been good until recently, and those photos have been popping up through the Cashmere basketball Facebook group page or whatever. I had no idea how many Cashmere teams had gone through the Nats. I knew there was just from my coaching time, but before that, I had no idea.
Yeah. No, Oded Nathan had that program rolling from about 2005, I think. So.
Oh wow.
That's the one, 2005. Yep.
Yeah. So they did a good job throughout those years, and yeah, Jamie Hall had it next, and then
yeah,
they had a really good.
By my count, it's 11 times since 2005. By my count.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty good. And now you're Cross. Just got a squad going this year?
Yeah. No, we've I enjoyed our bubble training tonight. It was pretty good. So
you're clearly number one. That whole I'm not hating on anybody. You guys are clearly number one. I know that St Andrews have the chance to be pretty good, but you're clearly better on paper today. You're clearly number one. So
yeah,
maybe I sound like a coach ranked with the team ranked in that 10th spot. I don't know.
Yeah.
But from paper, I had some of my students run through the roster because I don't know who else St Andrews had apart from the guys that I'm familiar with. But there is a running gun team and a guard heavy team, and Christ College is clearly number one.
Yeah, I don't mind being number two at the moment, so we'll roll with that. But yeah.
But give us your 8-man rotation. You've probably got a 15-man rotation, but what's your 8?
On the 8-man rotation, I've got Josh Book, Will DeGeest, Tom Harrison, Nali Fafita, Hunter Adam, Nick Book, Billy Parley from Marlborough, and Fletcher Miller, just a guy who's really good guard, I guess, within that. So yeah, we've got a pretty good 8. Jordan Braithwaite as well, actually, is another kid, but he's got a few back issues at the moment. But yeah,
is that 6 national players?
On national squads, I think there's 3.
3.
Two have had trials.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many should have national trials? South Island bias and all that.
I'd say nearly a few more of them as well within that. So no, it's pretty cool, and there's a real age spread out. So Nick Book has a pretty good year 10 player. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw it down on someone this year, which is pretty impressive for a year 10 kid.
He's got long, eh?
Yeah, his size 15 shoes are not easy to get, and he's a January 1st birthday, so he's actually young for a year 10 as well. So
oh my goodness, who's the last year 10 who in the last 10 years has dunked on somebody as a year 10? I can't think of anyone.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Angus dunked on someone. He dunked, but not on someone.
Yeah.
No,
it's good. It's cool. And trainings are awesome when because everyone gets after it as well. That was the thing about Cashmere that was really good, I guess. we had some pretty tough fights and trainings and stuff like that, but I really battle hard in them, and I think that's really started that kind of flow. Joe Cook Green in 2016 really helped toughen them up as well.
Yeah, fair enough. Is he tall? Is Nick taller than Josh already?
Yeah. Don't tell Josh that though, but yeah. I think probably by a few inches, to be honest. Like it's
Right.
yeah. He got a lot bigger during the lockdown. I feel a lot smaller in the gym right now. Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Sweet. I forgot what I was going to say.
What's your squad looking like, Joe?
I love my group. We got so yeah, they ranked us at 10th. We're probably sitting, I reckon at the moment, sort of between that 5th and 8th kind of spot. But I think by sort of later in the year, I think we'll be able to be pesky for some of those top 4 or 5 teams. But I love the group, and I've got my starting 5 are all coming back next year. I've got 2 year 10s that were playing heavy minutes. And yeah, it's weird to have a program again. And at mid-January, I didn't think I was coaching at all. I thought I was too busy. I hadn't planned on helping out with St. Thomas's again, and the opportunity presented itself, and a lot of my time freed up. And man, that's when I realized how badly I missed having a program. And like last year was cool to be back involved in the hoops community, but I was only at games and I only made a couple of trainings. I think about 6 trainings total. And so I enjoyed that, but you know, it was challenging when you got to tournament and you weren't able to prepare a group how you'd like. But man, yeah, I'm hyped about having a program again, and then I'm helping out with the girls program as well. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've got some time to actually go hard, and I missed the Burnside program, so I'm quite keen to try and build that back up. But
which girls program?
Catholic Cathedral.
Ah, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So.
I heard you talking about that. I was like, St. Thomas doesn't have girls, but yeah, that makes sense. Nice.
Yeah, I wasn't trash talking the second team or anything like that. Yeah, so it's good. It's a really the cool thing about it is, so I hadn't seen those boys since South Islands, and I knew that it was pretty rough that they lost some players, and a lot of some of the guys playing big minutes for all year 13s. So I think maybe 7 of the 8 top minute getters are all gone. But it was nice when I came back to see that they had, like, a lot of guys had improved, but their mentality was perfect. So once I sort of had one training with them, I kind of knew, okay, yeah, I'm keen to go all out with this group, and yeah, give us 12 months and we'll be hooping. But just the right kind of personality types in that group, like they're really hungry and there's a lot of talent there. So they're just trying to put that culture in place, but it's like a fresh start because, you know, to come in and try and help the way that I was helping last year, and we had so many year 13s and, you know, people joining the team mid-year and all that kind of thing. It was kind of, yeah, a bit of a difficult year for that group. So yeah, so I'm enjoying it, man.
Yeah.
And I love being ranked 10th. I love being ranked 10th. So
yeah,
you know, if we upset somebody in that top 4, then that's going to be so much fun. But if we come up a bit short, then we're not supposed to beat that team. So yeah,
there's some t-shirts made
for sure. Yeah,
with 10th on there.
Yep. Well, yeah. I had a chat with the Williamson. I love the Williamson family because 4 of them were all-stars, and then they couldn't make the all-star game because they were on a holiday, and I felt so bad. And so I had a good chat to them, and I butchered that chat because I talked garbage like the whole time. It was the worst. I felt so bad.
Oh, I watched it last night. It was good.
I referenced you a dozen times, so I'm sorry about how much.
That's why it was good.
It should have been called the Tim Bennetts conversation. So I mentioned you so many times.
But I think you even credited me for stuff that I didn't say.
What didn't you say? What was misquoted?
You said something. I was like, man, that was really wise, but it wasn't me.
Yeah, I think Joe's version of things isn't necessarily exactly how it was. So.
Didn't matter. I thought it was good. It was good yarn. The Williamsons are awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome kids. And
but when I was telling Danny Kong always likes it. Remember Danny Kong there? Yeah, so he played for Middleton back in 2000. Played for the Nuggets for a couple of years. He's over the States, works for Adidas now, and
Oh, cool.
he always likes an update from Middleton. Yeah, throughout the towards the end of the year, how are they going? Semi-final style, that sort of thing. And I was sending messages about in the semi-final they're whooping everybody, undefeated. He's like, oh sweet, was that supposed to happen? I'm like, well, yeah, we always thought it would, but they're pre-season ranked 5th. He's like, what? I should make some T-shirts and send them over. He was like, oh, do you want them? Do you want them? Probably not going to get here in time, but he was so pumped up, So do it. T-shirts, they've got 10th on there.
Well, Jack told this story that I think before the final, I can't remember when it was, but that he printed out that pre-season rankings and gave it to all the boys, and he used it as motivation. So I thought, yeah. Cool family.
Yeah.
Next time I'll stop talking, but yeah.
Yeah. No, they did a great job. You did a great job.
Yeah, Jack. I love what Jack and Zach are doing, man. It's
awesome.
It's so cool to be, having coached long enough to see what you had and what you did in your time running that program, and prior to that, and then they've just sort of picked it up and ran with it. I wish someone had done that at Burnside, man.
It didn't happen by mistake though, eh? Like, it was pretty intentional, but succession planning, and those guys were along for the journey for a number of years before they took over. So, they've done an awesome job since taking over. They've kept the DNA of the program, which has been going since long before I was there, and they've run with it and taken it to a whole nother level. And they're both doing an awesome job. So, really proud of those two boys. Very, very good. Run a great program.
It was my first game coaching at Christ College was against them, and I won't forget that anytime soon. Like, we went in there and we got whipped by about 50, and could barely get the ball over half court, and the energy and the enthusiasm there was pretty sky high. It's always a hard place to play currently, eh?
Yeah. They'll have a chip on their shoulder about Christ College too, though. It was 2013 when they were playing for me. Christ College was still the whipping boy back then, and I think this is awful, but it's true. Literally every time we played Christ College up until about 2015, 2016. No, not 2015, 2016. We would, I'd have the same chat with the guys pre-game, every game. Do you know how many times Christ College has beaten Middleton Grange in the history of basketball? 0. Don't let it be tonight. So there was always that big chip on the shoulder. And then all of a sudden, Christ College got good. And
I got to be honest, it's still
16, I think it was.
I'm now getting used to seeing you, Ben, wearing like Christ College branding and colours, and because I still see you in the Cashmere colours, when I think of you and your coaching. But it was an adjustment to see Christ College awesome, and especially like when they got Mr. Max Starling and the other Max, and they were awesome. And then just getting used to seeing Christ College as like a great basketball team was just it took a wee while to get used to. Yeah,
well, we got them that year. The first year we played them too, and then we had to play them in the semi-final the very next week, and they got their revenge. That was number one. That was the number one win they've ever had against the Middleton team. So
Well, we lost to them. The Cashmere one, we beat them. My last year at Cashmere, we beat them on the buzzer and Thompson Trophy, and then lost to them at South Islands and Nationals, and I was pretty heated, but a year later I ended up on the other side, so it was had to get used to that. But it's still really weird playing. It'll be the same for you, Joe, when you play Burnside. It's kind of weird when you go in there and play at Cashmere. Like, I've done it 4 times now, and it's I
haven't had to do it yet, and what's really weird for me is those kids still wear that black hoodie with the logo, because that logo I designed for the basketball academy when I put that in place. So it's strange to see what Burnside basketball looks like now. It's strange that those kids are still rocking, the academy logo, and so I haven't been back there. So that will be strange for me. And they're in Division 1, we're in Division 1. So if they're in our pool, that'll be really weird for me, man. And we're ranked about the same. So that'll be really strange for me, especially if it's a tight game.
I lost on the buzzer to Cashmere last year, so it was
at the buzzer. Who was that? Who hit that one?
Luca Williams.
Did he?
At the 3. Well, I think we had a shot to tie it, but hit a
I don't,
three.
I don't feel bad for you though, because I think you beat St Thomas's 3 times. I think 3 games we played you, and it was essentially like it was Groundhog Day. You know that movie with Bill Murray, and it's like the same thing happens every time. We had that. Josh Book is just the coldest player ever. I've never seen anything like it.
How many game winners did he have last year?
He hit so many. There was a timeout he came out of against St Bede's. We were down 6, and I was like, "Oh, Josh, you're gonna have to pull something out here." He's like, "Oh, coach, don't worry, I've got it." And he hit 2 threes, and we're back in the game. And he had a buzzer beater to go to overtime, and we beat them in overtime. I was just like, "That's like for a year 11 kid."
Year 11.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. So,
do you know? I don't know the last time I kind of like threw my hands up, like I don't actually know what to do, because when we played you guys at South Island, so I'd seen him twice. We kind of got up, and then twice he came back to like single-handed. Well, not single-handedly at all. Yeah, lots of other guys stepping up as well. Great runs, but I was like, "There's no flipping way this guy can do it 3 games out of 3." I tried. So defensively, I was calling everything for that game. We tried everything that game. We tried, sending double teams. We tried sending we had a box and 1. I did a triangle and 2, but we double teamed him. We tried everything. Like I tried, honestly, I had a little notepad with me and I wrote down things outside the box, and I tried everything. I think he had 63 points, and, just the fact that he was, a year 11, and after the game, him and Ed were talking, and I said to Ed, this is the craziest thing that is insane. Like, that performance was unbelievable. And Ed was like, can you please tell him that he'd love to hear that from you? And it felt strange saying to another kid, what you just did was like mind-blowing. Like, there's nothing we could do to stop you. I heard rumours about Kirk Penny back in the day, and I remember Max de Geest in one game at Burnside was unstoppable, and it was like he just constantly pulled up from the knuckle and just couldn't miss anything. But that performance was insane. That was amazing.
Yeah, no, he's a great kid off the floor as well, and like works his butt off. Like, just has this insane work ethic. So
yeah,
like,
his motor's insane.
Yeah, like that's the cool thing when it's kids like that. Just works his butt off. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So the pick and roll. Sorry.
He was tough as a year 9. Like,
yeah, this is true.
He was playing for Waimea. Like, he was tough. I mean, he travelled every time on his first step, but or at least that's what I told the refs. Man, he was tough. Like year 9, year 10 at those South Island tournaments at Waimea, he kept them in some games. Like, he kept them close when they just shouldn't have been.
Yeah. And that's on the back of the junior tournament as well. So he's on to like his 16th. He was on to like his 14th game maybe in a week against us at Cashmere in the semi-final, and he's still going. Like, it's
we couldn't stay in front of him in 2017. We just couldn't. Which is why I was complaining about travels, because clearly there must have been something other than our poor defensive effort. But yeah, crazy. It'll be good to see him playing this year. It'll be good fun.
Yeah, can't wait.
Speaking of this year, what do we make of this today's announcements?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you guys about that.
Sorry, Joe, stealing your thunder.
No, hit me.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Like, it makes sense to me. It's just how they're going to do the national rankings is the biggest thing. Like, I think keeping it pretty local is pretty good, and for Christchurch it's good because we've got so many good teams. Like, so many good teams, so many good games, and we can really ramp that up. But yeah, it's just like, I guess how they do the national thing is going to be an interesting thing, and with that, so yeah.
How many teams from Christchurch would that be? Is it 2 or 4?
Good question.
Yeah, unsure.
It's a good question. Yeah,
I don't see it being 4. I don't think Nelson and Otago will lobby pretty hard for their spots. But this is where Ben's spreadsheet comes in. Ben's got a spreadsheet of all the qualifiers, don't you? And on average, Canterbury teams qualify 3.8 teams a year or something like that, is it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Like it's been like 5 or so for a while now. So
yeah, last time it was mooted. Yeah, that was the big problem with going back to regionals was Nelson and Dunedin wanted 2 each, which would limit Christchurch to 2. But So I think to get 4 might be a stretch. You might get it also depends if Nationals is going to be 24 teams still. If they're dropping it to 16, they might go 1 from Nelson, 1 from Otago, and 2 from Christchurch. Who knows? But it's going to be interesting.
I had Tane Lavery and Totahi from my team stopped by a couple of days ago, and Tane had heard that it was going to be 2 from Christchurch, 1 from Dunedin, 1 from Nelson. Obviously, this is just like ideas and possibilities and things like that. But that seems a bit more reasonable. And I don't know if it was 12 or 14 teams at Nats or something like that. But I think. Do you guys think it was like? I understand there's a lot that goes into the tournament, like booking accommodation and fundraising and all that kind of stuff. But it seems like it's perhaps that decision's made pretty quick. Like it would have been good to. The country's so healthy and we're doing so well. In a month's time, people's thoughts about things are going to be so different. So I thought that was kind of like a quick decision. Do you guys think that? Or
I think the pressure came on from the other sports, like netball pulled the pin on literally everything, and football, like at the start of lockdown, pulled the pin on everything. So I think basketball probably got heat from them, but it's good they kept the national one because, but I think the pressure came on. So. But you're right. Like I'm probably on more of the positive side of the whole thing. Like if the borders are closed, how's it going to spread around? So
I actually I think BBNZ in general has done a really good job of just waiting. Like you say, Ben, I think a lot of people jumped in early to try to be seen to be doing something, and it's just like I find that frustrating. Like, wait and do the right thing instead of trying to get in early so that you were the earliest one to do something. Like, just wait. Like, there's no harm in waiting. But having said that, I don't have a big issue with what they've done here. I think 2 tournaments from a financial standpoint for families would be the biggest way I'm looking at it. Like, there's a lot of hurt out there financially right now. So going all the way to Invercargill for a tournament and all the way up to nationals is, that could be tough. But I'm a big tournament fan. Like, if I was still coaching high school, there's a couple of things I'd be pushing for. I'd be pushing that actually qualification for nationals was still some sort of tournament, even within Christchurch. Like, even if it's just the top 4 teams in Thompson Trophy at the time play a tournament, or the top 8, and you play a knockout straight Elite 8 knockout tournament, top 2 go. I think there's something about using a tournament to qualify for nationals that is kind of tradition and feels more post-season to me, which is what the tournaments are, is post-season action. But the other thing I'll be pushing for is when nationals is on, having a non-qualifier tournament somewhere in the South Island for the teams that don't go. Did either of you guys ever play in that back in the day when that was around?
No.
But Cashmere sent a team, like in 2006 or something like that. So
from recollection, it was always in Dunedin, which it doesn't have to be there this time, but essentially it was non-qualifier. So if you didn't qualify, and back then it was top 2 in each of those regions went to nationals. So there were still some very good teams that didn't qualify for nationals because usually had or often had two of the best teams in Christchurch playing each other in the semi-finals.
That's right.
Yeah, so it ended up being it was a really good tournament. But I think you could look at doing something similar here, just so those year 13s not getting a tournament experience at all. It's rough. So you'd go, is there a way, even if we would have hosted Christchurch, is there a way we can have, while nationals is going on, wherever that's going to happen, everybody else have a tournament too to replace that South Island experience? But there's a lot to happen between now and then in terms of gatherings and crowd sizes and travel and all that stuff. But I think all 3 of us probably pretty similar. We're probably more on the positive side of the fair scales.
I think the tournament thing's important as well. Like, I feel like on Thompson Trophy on a Tuesday night when you're at home, your home court, it's easy to kind of get up and do that. Whereas a tournament, you've actually got to grind it out. And I think it's a more of a fair way to do things. And you're right. Like, for a St. Bede's team who's got all year, a fair chunk of year 13s, like, it's just it'd be pretty average, I think, just to scrap it like some of those other sports have.
If I look back, I think back, I haven't looked at the stats, but anecdotally, I think if you looked at the final round of regular season of Thompson Trophy and took the finishing order of that, I don't think it would correlate very well to the qualifiers for nationals each year.
No.
Speaking from Middleton's perspective, particularly, like we often peak late. That's by design. Like we try to peak for South Islands. So often at the end of the regular season, our record's not as good as the team we're going to be reflects. It'd be interesting to do, actually go back and see what those rankings are, because like if instead of the alternative to not playing a tournament is you take regular season standings, right? Like I don't know how I'd feel about that as a coach myself, but what do you guys reckon?
Well, yeah, that Christ College team that we lost to in the final were pretty average all year, and it's because they had players coming in and out, but they came fourth in New Zealand because they peaked at the right time, and I mean, their record wasn't that good. So, like, I think you're right. Like, building in is important and trying to peak for a tournament thing. So, I'm surprised they got rid of the winter tournament week thing, but I think that was a schools and principal decision. So, just have to find solutions around that.
Yeah. What do you think, Joey?
I'd like to see those numbers of what you're talking about with, the qualifications versus the rankings. Those years, that'd be pretty interesting. But sorry.
Because I know in 2017, like I think we lost the quarterfinals. To Christ College. We only squeezed into the quarterfinals in the first place. But that's because Angus played 3 games of regular season basketball because he's injured all the time. Come tournament time, we qualified for nationals, he's up 10th. It's the regular seasons. And then if you go way back, Joey, you remember regional qualifiers were always the same time as under 18 international duties.
Yes.
So in 2000, Jeremy Kinch was over playing for New Zealand, and not at qualifiers for nationals, but we still made it. And in 2001, Jared Bowder was over it, playing. Or might have been the other way around. Jeremy in 2001. It's like, there's always something going on. But I'd say you want to give it the best opportunity of having the best players there that are healthy at the time, closest to nationals as possible. And there's something about tournament play that, just like the NCAA tournament play, you don't qualify for. In most situations, you don't qualify for the big dance from your regular season title in your conference. It's from winning the conference tournament, and then you win the conference tournament, then you go to the national tournament. It's kind of always been the same way in New Zealand basketball as well. But extraordinary situation.
Yeah, exactly. The one thing I do like about the concept is that right off the bat, Thompson Trophy games are going to mean so much more, because Thompson Trophy to me is really like a preparation thing for tournament. So it's a different mentality for me. Like now, but the bad thing about that is I'll be looking at that game differently now as far as the coach, because we need to win this game to give us any chance to, but versus, okay, I just want my team to get better today. So there's the, pros and cons with that, but it kind of like make it a bit more interesting as a coach that, you got to try and get those dubs. And I think you'll see some, Ben, I was saying to Jack, like the first couple of weeks, some of the results in Thompson Trophy will be hilarious. Like it will be upset city, man. Like there'll be some weird results, like, just having that break and which teams can pick it up quickly and which teams can't. And there's still teams being selected, and it's just such a crazy time to start. I'm pumped for our first. I can't wait for the draw to come out. I'm excited about it. But, the first couple of my guys, for example, perfect example, a lot of these guys playing 30, 35 minutes, they've never, like last year they were at the end of our bench, or they weren't in the senior team. So those first few games of those guys getting used to their roles and things is going to be, I was hoping to iron all that stuff out in the preseason, but we have to figure that stuff out on the fly, and we have to win games. So it's kind of, makes it more interesting for me. So
that's the thing, like, because now the preseason's gone, there's no like short, sharp building. Like you're literally on the floor playing the game. Like it's gonna be real interesting in terms of that.
Yeah. And I don't know. I've got a pretty good idea of my 8 guys, but after that, it's like there's honestly nothing separating that group. It's wide open. I don't even know who's going to be suiting up, in those spots. And some of those guys have got a chance to, knock out one of the starters. Like it's still that early. So somebody who might be at the end of the bench for game 1, mid-season might be starting for me. So it's strange to be going into a season, but kind of exciting too. Because we're.
Is there any rep ball happening at all throughout this season?
Well, I think so. I think they're trying to get something together. It's just when the tournaments could fit in. Like
Right.
it doesn't. Yeah, the calendar doesn't really favour them, I guess, in terms of summer sport and different things, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
So it could be your cleanest 10 weeks of high school basketball in the last 10 years.
yeah.
Like
It
in
could
terms
be.
of no disruption from rep ball. And I'm not saying rep ball is not important, but yeah, I think probably all three of us would say as coaches, there's nothing more rewarding than taking one group of guys over a long period of time and making them better people and better players and a better team. And that's always disrupted by rep ball, which is a good thing, but it is disruptive in terms of team building and culture building.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting for you guys. Get a clean run at having all you guys at practice all the time.
Speaking of that, did you guys ever hear that rumor that I didn't allow my players to play rep basketball back in the day? Oh, I used to get asked all the time why I wouldn't let my players play rep basketball, and I always encouraged them to, and I was happy for them that did. And this is the Nick Irwood, Ollie Davies, that earlier group. A lot of them had no interest in playing rep basketball. I didn't really care because outside of my program, I just wasn't that worried about it. But yeah, I remember people would ask me all the time why I didn't let my guys play rep basketball. And I never knew where that came from. It was not a thing. You know, the more basketball, the merrier. I would have been happy for them to play rep basketball.
Yeah.
That was always a strange one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like just a big bad guy. You're a bad guy, Joe.
Yeah.
Big bully, making those kids not allow them to play rep ball.
Yep. Actually, the only controlling thing I remember doing was when I let those two, Nick Irwood and Ollie Davies, play under 23s. They were like our first players to make that grade. And they would play big minutes in 23s, and it was always right before our 20s games. And so they had no legs for 20s. So I had to talk to Jamie Graham about, can we just like limit the minutes? And then I realized, okay, I can't even say that. So, but yeah, that was early days, man.
Is Joe still over in Japan?
I don't know if he's there at the moment. We're trying to get on a Zoom chat. We've got Tom Liu is serving in the military at the moment over in Asia, and he's available to chat on Saturday. So I'm trying to round up a group of guys on a Zoom chat. So I'm hoping that happens. That would be great to catch up with some of them. But I've been chatting to Show. I'm not sure I don't know if he's here currently during this lockdown or if he's still there. But yeah, it's been cool catching up with some of those guys, man.
If he is here, is he going to play in the NBL?
Man, yeah, I'll have to find that out. Yeah.
He should if he can. It'd be good.
The Niz, aka Showtime, should absolutely.
Yeah.
He'll be in that mix. He'll get picked up.
Yeah.
6'4", long defender, money. Get that guy in there.
Yeah. What do you think about the whole NBL thing? Not for you, Joe. Not for you.
Not feeling it, eh? It'll be interesting. It's interesting, and I'll watch it because it is so interesting. But it's just weird, man. You know, those teams that pulled out is a real shame. I wish they had. If they were still involved, then I'd be more interested. But it just it's more like a invitational almost now.
More just a stopgap, I guess, for next year. It feels like with that, but
yeah,
I haven't seen all the rules or different things. But like, there's a draft system and different things, is there?
Yeah,
yep.
I actually think it'd be quite fun myself. Like, it'll be interesting to see what happens with those Southland players and those Wellington players. Like, are the Saints and Sharks going to pay them not to play in that? Like, what are they doing with their contracts? Like, that's going to be interesting because if they're not paying them, then surely they can go play in the draft if they want to.
Yeah, if you're not going to empty your team, yeah.
I mean, it would just be fun to have some live sport on TV for starters.
Sure.
And then there's the whole TAB thing, like BB&Z, like huge amount of their income is based on how much is bet on basketball. So if they can be one of the first leagues open in the world, they'll be all of a sudden, they might get some of their income for the rest of the year. So
the Otago Nuggets are in there too.
Yeah. And we all know about Otago Nuggets and TAB. But, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Do you know, this is how bad of an NBL player I was, lads. So our first game, they issue out these hoodies, right? And I'm a 2XL man, and I was the last person they hooked up, and it's a size L, but it fits like a medium. And they're like, "Sorry, Rook," and they just kind of chucked it at me. I couldn't wear it. I still can't wear it. It's my kids can have it, but I kept it. But that's how much of a rook, that's how much of a bad NBL player I was. They were like, no, that'll do. You're lucky to get that.
That's funny. That's funny. So I'm quite excited. I think it'll be quite fun. And I don't know what the rules are going to be for the draft. I assume they'll be able to protect a few players, like the few key players, and the rest will go into a bit of a pool. But it could be fun.
Yeah,
something to watch on TV.
Hopefully, there's not like a real lopsided situation where one or two teams somehow draft exceptionally well, and you can tell right away on paper that team will be. But then that will be interesting, because even if they do look good on paper, they've still got to get it done on the court. So
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see what the player uptake is too, right? Like, what, 5 weeks away from home? It's quite a long time. Yeah,
and like who can take that time off work or away from their family? I mean, I got lots of questions about it, but it's interesting, way to spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, good on them. Give it a crack. Why not?
Yes, and it's better than not having anything happening at all, I suppose.
Yeah. No, it should be interesting.
You guys could probably enter an NBL team based on some of your former players. Just have a Middleton Mere? No. A Cashgrange. You can have a Cashgrange team. They had to have played for Cashmere / Christ's or Middleton and put that team in.
That'd be pretty good. I think we'd win the NBL.
I like that group.
Yeah. What do you reckon? We can win the NBL, Benny?
Yeah, definitely get it done.
Cashgrange.
Yeah, be pretty good.
Yeah,
we'd have to try and drag Kinch out of retirement.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Joe Green and Sam Lees will dribble the ball to a pulp.
Hey, shout out Jared Bowden, man. I enjoyed talking about him to Jack, and I was impressed that Jack Williamson knew that he was like a first team Middleton Granger. Jared Bowden was amazing.
Yeah, Jack's been listening to stories for a few years. He's got a bit of history in there.
He knew. And I forgot, I forgot that I was almost at Middleton Grange as well until that. I had that flashback to Dave Harrison sending me the programs, and I was. Yeah. Did you know that, Tim?
No, I didn't know that. No, that was the first time I heard that.
Ask Dave Harrison. That's a true story.
Yeah. Because you were what? You were 2000. When did you finish? 2099.
I can't remember. I was trying to. Jack asked me who was in the team that year, and I was trying to remember. And I think because I'm pretty sure I'm the same age as Jared, so I think that was. Man, I can't remember. Maybe the year up.
I was the same year as Jared. We finished 2001. We played you at under 17s.
Under 17s?
When you were at Kaiapoi.
Oh, right.
And you had Trav and
Joe Hart.
Like, that was a sick team. We played in the finals. Actually, I think we lost you guys. We lost one game all year. It was the under 17. It was back when it was under 16s, though.
I can't remember any of those games.
It was the under 16 finals. Somehow the game was at your place. We were undefeated all year, played a home final against you guys, and you beat us. And, Cusack.
Timmy. Yes, Timmy. Yes. I just had the best flashback. That was the sweetest victory. Okay, Ben, True story. This is a great story. That was sweet because you guys rocked up in our gym wearing Jordan tracksuits, looking like a professional team. You guys looked amazing. And we had the worst uniforms at Kaiapoi. We had these blue mid-thigh kind of like nylon shorts.
That shiny fabric still, wasn't it?
Awful. And we didn't have any warm-up tops. So we were in mufti. And I remember you guys came in and I personally was like, oh, it's over. Like this is, but I just remember you guys kind of like looking at us with a bit of a, like, we're going to crush these dudes. And so, yeah, it was one of those games that if someone had to watch the warm-ups, we would have been written off. And that's right. That was a sweet W.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, man.
Faith made those tracksuits.
Oh, that was so nice, man.
And those uniforms, actually. She made those too.
That was very
legit. That was a roster. That was an under-17 roster right there.
Yep.
Travis Dixon, Joe Hart, Blair Cusack, Joe Hammond. Well, that's... Ben's like, I don't know any of those people except for Joe. But you know Joe Hart, weren't you?
Yeah, Joe Hart. Yeah.
Joe Hart, man. Yeah.
Well, Travis was probably the leading scorer on the team, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So Joel, like so he was a year younger than us.
Younger, yeah.
And then the year after we left, that's when he did silly things at
50
region.
game.
Yeah, he was, in that kind of James Cawthorne tournament kind of level. It just every game was just crazy numbers. But yeah, man, Joel Hart. He was in our senior team as like a year 9. He was that kind of guy. But yeah.
Lee Cusack was a straight up shooter.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a roster. Pete McAllister was coaching there. It was a good team.
Yeah. No, man, this is how old I feel. I have such bad memories. Like, I can't remember much from playing in high school. I remember my year 14 year at Adenui clear, but the Kaipoi playing, maybe because I didn't get on the court much. I'm not sure what it is, but I can't really remember, too much.
This is how old we are, mate. That was back when games were 20-minute running clock halves. That was under 16s. And then actually the full version of it was 20-minute stop clock halves. There was no quarters. There was 30-second shot clock. That year at under 17s, our very first game of the season, we played Shirley Boys and beat them 234-17 in a 20-minute half running clock game.
So that would have been a game that like 7 kids quit the sport of basketball after that game.
It was a shocker because like I don't even really know how it happened so long ago, but we were up a lot. And so we were doing things like we had to run all the way back inside the keyhole to play defense. We wouldn't have to put our hands above our shoulders to defend shots, all that sort of stuff. And at halftime, their coach went nuts at our coach. And our coach was like, dude, we're trying to help you out. Like, and so he released the dogs in the second half. So it was kind of like, screw them, we're going to get them type thing. But yeah, that coach has a lot to answer for actually, because he was like being a punk, so kind of brought it on himself. But the players didn't deserve it. But I've got the second half of that game still on video actually in my garage.
Damn, Bennetts, man, the archive. My goodness, the
footage. When I say video, I mean video, like VHS. So I've got nothing to play it on, but I'm sure we can get it converted sometime. Yeah, crazy.
Man, yeah, got a
20-minute running clock was not the go. Not fun.
So who was Dave Harrison coaching you when you were playing at Middleton?
Yeah, senior boys. Yeah, it was Pete Harrison was actually coaching that 17s team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dave was our coach. So Dave finished up in 2000, and Blaze took over 2001. So when Jeremy Kent, Jerry Bowden, myself, and all the other guys, Tony Pattinson, we were year 7th form when Blaze took us up to that. Yeah,
I was living with Blaze. We were flatting together then. So there used to always be stories from your trainings. Your trainings were explosive, and Blaze would come back and tell me some story about my boy Tony Patterson or somebody. It was yeah. Me and Tony got into it a couple times. Yeah. I think I ripped his shirt off him once because he tried to punch and he hitboxed me, so I ripped his shirt off. Yeah. It was all like it would be a super competitive practice. It was a bit like The Last Dance, really. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, a team full of Michael Jordans. Yeah, no, it was fun. Like everybody got on real well, but man, practices got insane. Tony, he's the man. He's Australian, ain't he? Yep, Australia. Last time I talked to him, he had a restaurant over there. Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah. Sorry, we just spent the last 10 minutes talking about people that nobody else knows. Sorry, Benny. Yeah, man. That's good to hear, though. I like the competitive training, getting it done. Yeah, it was great for training. Yeah. That's my main key, fellas. In my situation with trying to step in and build a program, that's what I'm really hoping to achieve, is get those trainings. Like, I don't really care about weekly results or, what the results are week 1, 2, 3. It's if I can get those trainings back to that level, that's my whole thing. If those trainings can be more difficult than the games, we're cool. We're on track. So that's my personal goal as a coach with this group. Yeah. Hopefully next week we can get in there and you get started, man. I know the guys are hanging out to get started with the trainings and things, so yeah, it'll be good. And then I just want to see this draw come out and go get started.
How many ill-advised James Harden step backs are we going to see from these kids?
Yeah. When I used to put up shots on a hoop by myself, I would always come away thinking I was unstoppable offensively, but I was this, the 7th to 10th best offensive player on my team. And that theory that you had is honestly going to be bang on. Ben, I don't know if you heard that, but the concept of, all these kids that are practicing at home on their hoop by themselves, you feel pretty good after a shoot around on your hoop by yourself, going through plays, game winners, you can't guard me, 50th point, all those things. So some of the kids will come out really going franchise mode. I think there will be an adjustment there. Not all teams, but I can definitely see some kids thinking they're going to, I'm dropping 40 today.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think everyone will have potentially good handles and be able to shoot the ball a little bit and not be able to play a lot of defense. Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of defense over the last 7 weeks. So
very true.
I'm just looking forward to the club ball shooting percentages. like high school kids, at least they get into the gym and shoot lots. Like club ball is working, so they're not in the gym all day every day. So 7 weeks of no shooting the basketball, it's gonna be. I think league-wide average of 25% from 3. I think will be generous.
That'll be that shot where you pull up and you keep it up for a second because it feels good, and then it goes short and you quickly pull your hand down.
Yeah.
Money, and then you're going and trying to get an offensive rebound. But
yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be jamming it under every ball screen.
Yeah.
Go under.
Scores of 35 to 30 in Prem basketball. We'll be back to it.
Be great.
Defensive grind.
Yeah. Phil Burns will like those score lines though.
Yeah,
I like that.
Limit positions.
And guess who I get to talk to? Mr. Keith Mayer.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
So yeah, I've got, and Phil hooked that up. Phil was like, if you want stories, you need to speak to Keith. So he's hooked that up. So I'm talking to him in a couple of days. So yeah, while I'm still in these Zoom chats, I don't know if I'll be doing any. I've enjoyed doing them and putting some just basketball chats just for fun, but I don't know if I'll have time to do it after this week. We'll see how we go. But I like that Phil and some of those guys were like, you need to document some of this stuff because they appreciate that I'm sort of, some of these young guys are getting introduced to basketball people because that generation, they lose track so quick, man. Like, yeah.
Yeah, the thing I noticed is people are really quick to throw out the first time ever. Like, this is the first time this has ever happened, or that's the highest this team's ever finished. I'm like,
yeah.
No, it's not. If you look back more than 4 years, you'll find that
those results that you've got, like maybe they could get put together and put on the Canterbury basketball, because BBNZ do the results archive or whatever. Yeah. Maybe somebody needs to compile that information, because I personally would have been really interested in that prior to me coaching high school basketball, and I was blown away with Cashmere's run. Like I know Middleton quite well, but I wasn't too aware of Cashmere prior to when I started seeing you guys, Ben. So that stuff's pretty incredible. And like, if you're that kid that gets into high school basketball and he's all about it, if he can go and sort of get educated and go, okay, I think that kind of needs to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think that's it's a big thing, and like just the history of of basketball in Christchurch. Like Christchurch has one of the biggest powerhouses ever in high school basketball. So, and no one would even know it. Like,
yeah. Did you guys hear those stories? The Phil Burns conversation.
Yeah.
No, I didn't actually. I didn't watch that. I have to go back and watch that.
Oh man, I'm going to talk to him again, and it's going to be purely about that Māori Howard dynasty and that, man, those trainings and did you be in that part about how every single classroom had a basketball team at the school? And man, it was just, man, so much about it.
It was incredible, and because like we played them in 2006 when they probably weren't so good, and beat them by 100, and we just wouldn't have known the history of that. And you go into their gym now, and it's there's so much obviously history in it. Like, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the guys either. It was the guys and the girls teams were both the absolute powerhouses. Yeah, they were church college before church college.
Yeah,
but probably even more impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, I mean, mine goes back to 2000, but there's people around that wouldn't remember. Yeah, I can take a pretty good guess at 99. I just don't know if there was any wild cards or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know where he dominated the late 90s, early 2000s. So Bert would be able to figure on that.
Yeah, I bet Bert does get info.
Yeah. Are you catching up with Bert, or is that what happened, or are you still doing it?
Yeah, I'll be catching up with Bert as well.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
He'll have some stories.
You know, like now that I'm older and like just reflecting back to how lucky I was to have both Phil and Bert as coaches, because pretty much just what I learned from them, a little bit of a combo. That's who I am as a coach. Like, you know, that's the blueprint. Like, man, especially the Phil Burns SIT trainings. That's essentially what, you know, Burnside is, because that's when I started coaching. It wasn't like a conscious decision like I want to be a great coach. It was a helping them out. Burnside had no senior team. We were Friday night intermediate, you know, grade. It was just helping out, and then it was just for fun for most of that time. But yeah.
SIT, man. Do you even know about the SIT, Penny?
No, just from the last chat, so I didn't actually know about it. Yeah.
It was pretty cool, Ben, because it was like you were able to finish high school, and then a lot of people went to Aranui for a year or two because we had year 14s all day. Pretty much our whole squad was year 14s, so it was almost not fair some years, some of those teams. But like for that kid that wants to get better at basketball, you know, you could go to SIT and do your certificate in elite sports performance. So basically learn about nutrition, learn about exercise, training, strength training, all that, get a qualification out of it. But it was really, we had players from all over New Zealand get together, and it was just a house of hoops. Like,
that's
most
awesome.
of us, man, it was primo. And it was Phil Burns running it. And nearly all of the guys that I went there with are all involved in sports today. You know, one guy's working for Otago Rugby, and 3 of them are professional coaches in Australia now. And it was amazing. It was really cool. And that's part of, I'd love to see that back here. That's kind of what I was aiming at with some of the stuff last year. You guys might have seen me trying to put together, but and I'm still hoping to try and figure out a way to sort of do that. But it was a real cool setup, Ben. Real cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 teams in 23s that both dominated. It was tough.
The trainings were incredible. The trainings, that gym that we were, me, Kennedy, Nino, and Phil were talking about at Wigram, that's that gymnastics spot now. It was, man, like it was so good that you would go, if you were training after or before one of the teams, you would be there for their training just to watch it as well. Like, it was that good. And, you know, there was an awesome weights room right next to that, and it was, man, such a cool setup.
They had a nice floor too, eh? Like, it was a proper old school hardwood floor like Cow's.
Yeah.
And the gymnastics people put stuff all over on top of it. It's a travesty.
Yeah.
I mean, good on them for utilising the space, but they had a very, very nice hardwood floor.
Yeah, good times. Yeah,
hardwood floors are a rare thing around these days, aren't they?
Yeah.
Are you getting a new gym across, Ben?
Yeah, well, it's the one we've got right now is not very ideal, but it does the job, I guess. But yeah, no, we're getting a 2-court facility down the back. So yeah, it's
a timeline,
right? 2022, hopefully.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Yeah,
it's not far away.
Yeah, it was supposed to start this year. So yeah, our court at the moment, a size 15 shoe doesn't fit in our 3-point line, so it's not ideal for playing home games on.
Nostalgic, that's for sure.
Yeah, and there's no transition basketball, which doesn't really suit our game either. So it's not ideal. But
I think when you're playing there, we should remove the 3-point line.
Yeah,
make it like 1960s basketball.
Yeah,
and everybody has to shoot Greg Swift style. Just to really no jumping.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. No, it's definitely old school, but it's good. It makes you appreciate the good gyms when you go in there and you want to go there. So go to Middleton, go to Cashmere, and get games. So
yeah, it's good.
Hey, so Bennetts, you've got those results. Sorry, I have to go back to your results archive that you got there. From 2011 to 2019, I was thinking that was pretty heavily dominated Middleton, Burnside, Cashmere. So were there any other teams that came through Christchurch #1 during that time?
I'm not sure if mine are all in these. Mine's just kind of who qualified, not necessarily who finished first, second, third, or fourth.
Boys High as well.
The boys High had a year.
They beat us one year, and I think in the final we had Show Nisbet and Toby Galili away, and
right.
And their coach.
No.
Oh no, I think it was that's Quinn Clinton. That's that group. Ben Harris, Jack Ansell, Tamagashi, Remy. I forgot his name.
That's 14, I think.
Was it?
Yeah, because 2013 was Zach Lilburn and Ihaka Pink and all those guys on my team.
I think you're thinking of Zach Dwan and
No.
Because I had that one group with Zach Dwan and what's that kid, the shooter, the blonde kid, Campbell.
Yeah, Matt Campbell and Croydon.
Yep, Croydon, that's right. Wasn't that their group that year? After
weren't they 2011?
Yeah, I think they were earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's how bad I'm at. I've got a.
Yeah. So your first year that you came out was 2012.
Yes.
So 2012, Burnside, I don't know when Cashmere qualified for nationals.
Yeah.
Which must have been the last year. I don't know who was around.
Yeah.
As a basketball powerhouse, anyway.
Yeah, I remember that too. They played in the 23s comp. So at South Islands, we just had no idea how we'd match up because no one had played against them all year because they were in 23s. So that was pretty scary playing them and going up against Bert. I won't forget that game. But yeah, that's when they had Elijah Happy and.
Oh yeah, it was too. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Because then 2013 was my guys, with Lilburn and all those guys, and then Lincoln made their run at South Islands, and Boys High made nationals that year as well. And then 2014 was Burnside, Boys High, and Stack. So it might have been that year, I think, that you're talking about. 2015 was the Joe Cook Green, Sam Timmins, Jackson Stent, Sam Lee's year.
Okay.
And then, which was Middleton, Burnside, Boys High, and Cashmere qualified. And Shirley, 5 teams qualified that year. And then 2016 was Boys High again. Boys High, Cashmere, and Cross. That was the last time Boys High made it, was 2016.
Yeah, that was Quinn's last year.
It was Quinn's last year. Because the thing that messes up the years is Quinn was in the team for about 5 decades. So.
Yeah. I like it. You guys tonight, but I haven't asked any of them. And I didn't get to ask any of them. How much do you guys have to roll out, or do you have any time to?
Yeah, I probably have to roll out to get to school in the morning.
True.
Oh man,
true.
How's work been this week? Being pretty full on?
Like there's so many rules, so much stuff going on. It's it's pretty challenging, but I think everyone's starting to loosen up and kind of get into routine, so it's pretty good. But the kids have been wild as well. Like they're out of routine, so they've come back and they're definitely challenging. But no, it's been good. I think later next week it will start to settle down.
Yeah, kind of like back to business, like just sort of people get back into their routines and rhythms, and
everyone's a little bit nervous. So that's the thing. But yeah,
I feel for the kids because I was talking to Zach Hannum the other day, and he's like a brilliant student, like excellence, everything.
Yeah,
he's only had 7 credits offered to him this year so far.
Yeah,
so he's got 7 excellence credits, and now he's going back after all this time. They'll be trying to ram the credits down his throat, and he's wanting to play basketball, of course. Like, it's not good.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Is there any word on them lowering the entry requirements for university or anything like that, or? Well, it won't help for the international kids who want to go to the States, will it?
Yeah. No, not yet. I think it's pretty much business as usual because they pushed their school year back. So now they want you to do more assessments in term 4. So, it doesn't really help them.
It's, I think it's unrealistic, like.
Because they won't drop the, excellence endorsement credits, which has caused issues for the subject. So, yeah.
Oh, man. it's schooling. Schooling is not the most important thing about school.
No.
Like, it's really not. It's a door opener for what's ahead of you.
Yeah.
It's not in and of itself a destination.
No.
It's weird, man. Yeah, it's not good. There's a lot of inconsistencies too, like with your rules. Like you said, those kids can play basketball in PE, but they can't 2 hours later in practice. Or they can have 30 kids in their classroom, but if they want to invite 10 of them over to their house for a party for their birthday that same night, they can't. Like, it's so inconsistent, man.
Yeah,
I think on Monday, that's when that next announcement, hopefully they can lift that up, right? If that was 50, I can kind of, I can kind of understand that number, or 50 or 100, and then you can kind of roll with it.
Yeah.
Like you said, Ben, hopefully on Monday, these things they kind of like fall back into where it makes a bit more sense. But
yeah. So right now with that building, we could rent it out to you guys. You could have a concert there for 100 people, if you'd like. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Or a conference. We can have 100 people conferences there. Yeah.
We could us three could sit up on stage and give a Mega Powers presentation.
Yeah, we could do that. We'd probably sell 100 tickets for that too.
Oh man, it's strange times, eh? Strange times.
Yeah,
but
we clearly didn't talk enough about how Burnside. Sorry.
Oh no, sorry. I was just gonna say, it feels like it's out there. It feels like it's everyone's back to business.
Yeah,
just a matter of time. Sorry, Timmy, what were you saying?
I say we clearly didn't talk enough about how Burnside was the scariest full court defense to play from the early 2010s to mid 2010s, or how Cashmere's depth, just every time we played them, you're like, which guys are going to be that beats us tonight? We couldn't talk about that stuff enough tonight, but that's all right.
Yeah, man, that's my fault, man. I had some really, really good questions. And I'm the whole reason why I'm doing this, guys. The whole reason, like, I'm not going to make a cent from any of this. The whole reason why I'm doing it is I am genuinely trying to document Canterbury basketball and things that I feel are important, so that they're documented. And like I said, I think it's important people know what happened at Cashmere. I think it's important that people know what happened at Middleton Grange. Like, Middleton Grange obviously know what's going on with Middleton Grange, but you talk to some of the other schools and they wouldn't know any of that stuff. No. So I really want to try and document some of this stuff because I think it is important. And I just feel like, because this is fun for me to talk to basketball people, and I hate watching TV and stuff like that, so everyone goes to bed and I can do all this stuff. But so I did a bad job of asking you guys questions tonight, so my bad.
We talk too much. That's slightly the nature of being a smaller school. There's the peaks and troughs a little bit.
I think with Burnside, I remember there was like no record of like that before I came through. There was like just nothing. Like I was trying to go through yearbooks. I was trying to piece that together, but there's just nothing there. I know that the last good team they had was a Paul McFarlane.
Yeah, they were good. They never didn't qualify though.
Yeah, no, I didn't see anything. I couldn't find anything at the school. There's just no. I was quite surprised. There was when I got in there was just nothing, no systems in place. It would just be like, what it would be is we'd be playing somebody and some guy would come up to me and be like, hey man, it's good to see Burnside doing this or that. And I played for them a few years ago. And as soon as someone would say that, I'm like, oh, which year did you play? Who was your coach? Like, just trying to find out more information because no one could tell me anything about it. So, it was crazy. Isn't it crazy? No senior team. And they had, at the time, I think 2,800 students. And they had no senior program.
That's mental, eh?
It's just one of those schools that, you need that.
So.
Yeah, keep that under your hat.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, but every school should have a list like that. I'm sure you have lists like that, don't you, Benny?
Yeah. No, I've got those lists.
You've got more information on yours than mine, probably. Mine's just very quickly thrown together.
I passed the Cashmere one on, so passed it on to Paul, so he's got that now.
No, I always use that first one with the chart of how many times people have been to nationals for the last 20 years. Because people's memories are so short, if you don't qualify for 1 year, people are like, oh, Burnside, they're always better than us, or Cashmere, they're always better than us. You're like, stop. No,
Yeah.
no, they're not.
I remember, I think probably the coolest thing I've seen as far as like getting a team ready, like the culture stuff that you do at Middleton's amazing. But I remember once I was at Middleton for something. Maybe it was when I was helping out with that student, Timmy. I can't remember, but I remember you were preparing like a presentation just on the history, and I loved that you were able to like present that in a way. Like I wasn't able to present. You know, we didn't have that same length of history, but that was one thing that I took away from how you did that. Was powerful, and that was really cool. How you you know, like trying to have a kid to have that pride when they put on the jersey. You know, like and talk about doing a great job of doing that.
Yeah. Well, that was where the Gator stuff came from way back then. Because what are we known for? What's Middleton Grange known for as a school? Nothing.
It's like Middleton was plucked out of somewhere in America and then put in Riccarton. That's like
we're back in the early '80s. We had a rugby team that dominated. '87. Yeah, so it was kind of trying to create something that they could actually be part of.
Yeah.
And do well at. And the pushback from teachers, like even it's finally the last 3 years probably, the teachers have finally got on board. Like it's taken that long because they've always been like, oh, those basketball kids, they think they're special, they think they're that. So yeah, because they're actually doing something. Like, like what are we top 20 in the country at most years?
Yeah, great point. Yeah.
Nothing. Right. So basketball. So it's okay to be proud of that. Like, yeah, it's weird, They took them this long to finally get on board. And Helen Williamson's been a part of that because she was a teacher of the staff doing it. So.
Oh, Helen works at the school as a teacher?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I thought the group last year, when I first looked at them, I thought hyping a group up that much before a game is not working. I was like, that's not going to work for you. And when I saw it work for them, like in a spectacular fashion, I was kind of blown away because maybe they do that in the States or whatever, but I haven't seen a team ever. How about you guys? Ben, have you seen a team get that hype before a game but actually back it up when they get on court?
No, definitely not.
No.
It was special. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, never. That's where the Jack's personality's coming through. Yeah, like every team takes on some aspect of the coach's personality, eh?
Yeah.
So my teams were always pretty reserved. Like, in fact, when we played in 2001, we wouldn't say anything in warm-ups. I don't know if you remember that.
No.
But we literally, from the time we got in the van till the time tip-off happened.
Yeah.
Silence.
Yeah.
And that was always it was a weird little thing, but I think teams found it a little bit intimidating.
Well,
just the opposite direction, and then we'd turn it on once game time came. Yeah.
Well, the best Burnside teams that I had, they couldn't warm up in tents. So I think I'll get mad at them for being too blasé.
Yeah.
And I tried to put in place a really intense, not intense, but let's go. You know, I tried to do all that stuff, and then they played terrible. But they would look like they weren't even taking it seriously. Like people that could dunk were not dunking. Like it was so lax, and we're joking around. And so I learned that worked for us. And so I'd be just cracking jokes. It was nothing serious. But when the game started, defense, man, defense. Yeah. So I don't understand how that worked. I didn't do that intentionally. I don't know how. It was just our personality as a group.
That was on our pre-game prep conversations, always against you guys.
Oh, really?
Don't let them lull yourself into a false sense of security on pre-game. Because for our guys, they'd see you guys clowning around, and our guys are like, oh, sweet, they're not really taking this very seriously.
Yeah.
And they'd start screwing around. So it was always a battle to try and get our guys to do what they did instead of just going, oh, dumpty-doo. I don't know about you, Benny. Did you find that as well? Or?
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. You had to be prepared in terms of that. Like, you knew it was coming as well. Bit of full court pressure and struggle to get the ball over halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember one time they were too intense before the warm-ups. I was like, this is uncharacteristic for us because when they're blasé, we're just destroying people on defense. But they were like real up. Oh, that's right. We had someone get injured a couple of days prior to training, and it just kind of shook us a bit. So when I usually give these really good pre-game, kind of speeches, and for this one game, it was, hey guys, I want you to try as hard as you can to stop them from putting the ball in the basket. Like, try as hard as you can. And then when we go down that end of the court, try and put the ball in the hoop, like as hard as you can, like shoot, like please, And they were just looking at me like I was such an idiot, like just had to like clown it up to try and match that silliness we had before the game. And it's weird, Hey, sometimes a team like just develops a personality without even planning it.
Totally.
Totally.
Really, Benny gets to bed. Looks like he's going to be sleeping on the couch tonight. You in trouble for being up too late?
Yeah, no, I've got to get. At least there's no morning trainings at the moment, so it's not too bad. So, but that's all good. We'll go get another couple of days done, and then get some weekend in.
Yeah, and then you got to earn that paycheck from Cross College to meet those KPIs, baby.
It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. I'll tell you that. They haven't been about results and haven't been like that, which is some of the other schools have been. Like it's all been like get assessments done, get results done. It's like damn, like give the kids a break, eh? Like it's not all about that right now. It's just about if the kids are all good, eh?
Okay. So
I know. Oh, good to see you guys, and hopefully see you around a court soon enough.
Yeah, man. We'll be there.
Yeah. It'll be. I'm hoping for a Cashmere first up, to be honest. Cross College has never beaten the Cashmere in the Thompson Trophy, so back to the Gators.
2015.
All right, sweet.
Right,
Catch you guys later.
Hey, thanks, Benny.
When you were listing those other guys, it reminded me of when you had those young guys picking the All-Star teams, of how unaware they are. Like the names they were listing, you were like, how are you seriously taking those kids before Tom Webley?
Oh, yeah. Man,
like, or Ben Carlisle Smith. Like, you're crazy. Like,
I think that's why it was fun putting that together, because I just knew that, it was hilarious. It was kind of...
I feel like when we were kids, though, we knew who the best players in the city were. Like
easy. Yeah.
But those kids clearly had no clue.
To me, if it was still Saturdays where everyone played, everyone would know, because you can't watch anyone. I can't scout anyone because I'm coaching when everyone else is playing at the same time. I can't scout, and that's what I miss as well. Is I used to always go and watch teams play prior, always. Like even if it was Middleton and I'd seen Middleton play 4 times that season, I'm going again because I might learn something again, or you might have changed up what you're doing offensively or defensively. I'm always going, and then after the game, I'm always staying for a half. So I really miss that, because when I play a team now, I'm like, let's see what happens in this first quarter. See, I don't know anything, man.
Sneaky.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's pretty good.
You've got heaps of references in Thomas. Somebody will hook you up with it.
Big Chest Brad or someone like that.
Yeah, because then you get access to every single game, so you can watch whatever you want.
Oh, man. Interesting.
There you go. Cheat code.
Yeah. I'll be, this year will be interesting, man. You must have seen hints of this, but when some people prey on the downfall so hard, like when St. Bede's beat my under-20s team last year, we had 5 players, and I had to get a ring in to play as well, and they celebrated so hard, man. Like, and it was now that I'm not Burnside anymore, but it's still me. Some of these coaches, man, they celebrate way too hard, or every time their team does something good, I can feel them staring at me, and I'll glance over, and sure enough, they're like staring me down. I'm just like, I'm with St. Thomas's right now, like, so that's why I've got a chip on my shoulder, man. Like, I don't think I've never had a chip on my shoulder like this. Like, 12 months time we'll be competing. It's not the. You shouldn't lose out. You shouldn't lose out because of a result that you get in week 1 or week 2, potentially impacting that. That's crazy. Yeah. I'm happy with them using the seedings for Thompson Trophy to like the top 6 teams at the end of Thompson Trophy. Sweet. That's going to be about the right top 6 teams. It's pretty unlikely for anybody outside that area to make it. Yeah. So, no, all good. Oh, at least I reminded you of your under 16 championship win. That's far out. I just wish, we had social media and things so we could have captured things, and just even footage. Like, imagine you, Kench, and Bowden mucking around at the hoop and just recording yourself back then.
the post practice alley throwing stuff we used to do in the old gym. Like, it was all from up in the mezzanine.
Yeah, I remember you guys
off the
doing
mezzanine
that.
floor and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
The bounce pass from up top, boing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jared messaged me. He saw that, and he said about I totally forgot about this. But he's like, do you remember that time at Pioneer? You and me went 1-on-1, and none of my signature moves worked on you. And like, it was this big message from the guy, and I was just so stoked because just talking about him, like, you know, just putting that name out there and just letting some people know, like, man, he was super legit.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I don't know if I'll be able to keep doing these sorts of things, but I do like that I can add, like, I want to try and document things. I think it's important, but got to get my face off these chats though. It's not good for business because I'm too honest and I'll just say stuff. And I butchered that Williamson one, man. I talked so much.
Oh, it was good. I enjoyed it. It was good.
Oh, that's good to hear. I was real worried, but, man.
I'll have to go back and watch some of the other ones.
Yeah, man.
Last night, my boy was awake from 2:30 till 4 to 5 o'clock or whatever it was. So I just put that on. I wasn't watching the video, just listening to it. Managed to listen to the whole thing without falling asleep because I was looking after my boy.
Nice.
Parenting, eh? Not much sleep going on.
Yeah, man. Yeah. My sleeping hasn't come right since. I still sleep like I've got young kids. Yeah. My sleeping's been whack ever since then, man. I can't sleep in, even if I wanted to. Even if I'm allowed to sleep until midday, there's no way. I'm up at 6:30 or 7 o'clock every day without fail. Like, just change my whole body clock. And I can't get to sleep at night time either. Like, I won't be in bed before 12 or 1.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. All good. I better get going.
Yeah. Hey, cheers, man. And I'll edit something up and send it through and just make sure that you're happy with all the stuff that
I'm sure I'll be fine with it. Go for it.
50% edited out.
probably edit out the game comment.
Draw didn't sports for a wee while.
He's got a terrible last name. Very good.
All right, man. Good chatting.
All right. See ya.
See you, man.
Bye.